Hi guys, and welcome to my long-awaited review of FM Acoustics FM300A clone by BRZHiFi, also known as Waylang Audio. So, as you've asked me, you prefer long reviews, so prepare for a long review, go and grab some cup of coffee or tea and something to eat. So, the first thing, the parameters. This is a clone of well-known construction by FM Acoustics. The model number is FM300A. It has status of cooled amplifier. The patents have expired, so it's completely legal to produce clones. However, it's not exactly legal to use brand name or model number. That's why you won't have a logo here. There will be no company name on the amplifier, and if you notice this one here, it's not saying FM300A, it says FM300A. Yeah. So about the parameters, it's a power amplifier, it's dual mono construction. We'll see the insides in a minute. It's supposed to output 80 watts in 8 ohms, 80 watts per channel, so let's say 116 total, and this almost doubles into 150 into 4 ohms per channel. So 4 ohms you'd have 150, giving you in total 300 watts into 4 ohms. According to manufacturer, the signal to noise ratio is 103 decibels. It weighs a little bit above 11 kilograms. And I think that's it. What I found when I was doing the burn-in and my tests is that it's using about 50 watts when playing music with moderate volume levels. So that's surprisingly low. And I was also checking the temperature inside with my laser thermometer, and what also surprised me was that it never went hotter than 57 degrees centigrade. It was between 55 and 57 all the time, and that explains why it doesn't have any cooling fins on the outside. Okay, so let's move to the build of the amplifier. The case, the chassis is completely metal. Here you have 2 volume pods for controlling volume on both channels separately, which, as you may recall, I'm not exactly a fan of, because it's a mess to set up the balance by your ear. Every time you'll be changing the volume. You have 2 LED diodes signalizing overdrive, signalizing peak power, and the power on-off switch. The power on and off switch is lighting in green, and it's blinking when amplifier is charging the capacitors and getting ready to play some music. As you can see, we have plexiglass. Not exactly a window, but decorating element here. It comes covered by a protecting film, so it's a nice touch. And another nice touch are golden screws. They look really, really nice. As I said, it's quite hefty. It's a little bit over 11 kilograms. That's because the chassis is made of high quality aluminium. Before we'll move to the back of the amplifier, I'll show you something funny at the bottom. Yep. Yes. These. Let's have a minute of silence over them. They are very small. The color is very nice, although they are so small that it's actually funny. So this would be the first thing to replace, at least for me. Oh, okay, yeah, it's quite heavy. Let's move to the sides. As you can see, I've already opened it up opened it up for a review, and let's move to the back. In the back we have two RCA inputs, we have two sets of speaker outputs, and we have power inlet with fuse compartment integrated here. And we have a small information printed on the back, saying that this is FM300A and there's no space here. Model number, the power supply in this case is 220 to 240 volts, so it should be okay for all European and UK and other countries using this range of voltage. What's interesting here, it says 72 watts per channel, but the manufacturer data on the page of the producer says it's 80 actually. I haven't measured that, at 75 or 80 it's basically the same. Yeah, and it says made in China. Okay, but we also have another information here that the maximum power is 2 channels per 150 watts per channel into 4 ohms. That's what I've said at the beginning. So let's take a look inside. Yeah, like that. The case fits very well, and it's not so easy to take it off. Yeah, it's quite thick. It's very solid, it's very thick. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's very solid. Okay, let's move it out of the way, and let's use my classic FM antenna as a pointer while we'll be looking inside of the amplifier. Or maybe I should just take my phone like that. Okay, so now let's start with the big things. The toroidal transformer is marked as BRZHiFi production, good up to 400 watts, which is quite a nice price, and there's some space, because 2 times 150 gives you 300 watts, so we have another 100 watts as room on the transformer. We have some nice ELNA capacitors, 4 capacitors per channel, and each one of them is 10,000 microfarads, which means that we have 40,000 microfarads per channel here. And as you can see, this is dual mono construction, although it's using only one transformer here. Okay, what else? These are FM acoustics modules that had been reverse engineered quite some time ago. The interesting thing is that there is still places the components inside and uses resin to seal it off. But you can buy them cheaply on AliExpress and eBay in case you need to replace some of them. Okay. What else about the build inside that I can show you now without moving the phone? Yeah, we have some nice ceramic resistors here. We have some German Wima capacitors here and here. Internally, we have 2 fuses per channel. Here's the one, and here, slightly in the back, we have another one. The transistors here. Transistors here are quite interesting because the listing offer is saying what are the exact model numbers, but these seem to be polished and all markings have been removed. Another interesting thing is, but I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see that inside of these radiators we have some transistors that are looking like they have been used, or maybe they have corroded a little bit, because the markings on them are not readable, but they do not look like they have been removed on purpose. Actually, one of them here, yes, this one, it says it should be 2N3440, and you can maybe see the marking inside, but this is a classic Motorola transistor, and the markings on that one look like this would be actually the real deal, the old stock Motorola transistors, which is nice. But at the same time, it probably means that it may be hard to find replacements unless you'll be looking on the used parts. Okay, another interesting thing here and here, we can see the service points, probably for taking measurements during BIAS setting, and we have 2 volume pots for setting the BIAS. Here we'll have 2 blue Alps, 1 per channel, and they are mounted on separate PCB, and the PCB is connected by industrial flat cable here. What else? Yeah. The nice fact, the power cable that goes from the inlet and is going to the power switch is nicely shielded along the transformer side here, which is a very nice thing, because you may also notice that the shielding is connected to the grounding, to the shield of the whole device. So this is a very nice touch here. You can also see that the whole case, the whole chassis is correctly shielded. We have some Omron switches, Omron relays here, and here we'll have slow start PCB, which is covered in heat shrink, so I wasn't opening it inside. And here we have correctly identified by one of my viewers rectifier bridge. This rectifier bridge is screwed to the bottom of the case, because the bottom of the case acts as a heatsink for a rectifier bridge, which is a very nice touch. So all in all, this is an example of quite nice engineering, and what I think I'll do is I will show you some photos of the original FM300A by FM Acoustics that producer is that producer has placed in the offer, in the listing, so you can compare them, how the new version looks compared to the original one. Yeah, so let's take a look. As you may remember, I'm quite lazy, so there will be no picture-in-picture, no video montage, but just look at that. Okay, so I should be placing it kind of like that. Hate that. Okay, let's disable auto rotation. And now let's take a look at the original versus clone. As you may see, basically, no, it's the other way around. It should be like that for this channel. Let's move my camera. So basically, we have the same locations for transistors, we have the same location for module, we have the same locations for transistors and resistors and capacitors as in original. Yeah, we have the same location for potentiometer here, but we're using different type here. The power transistors located in the back here are located exactly the same way in original. Yeah, now let's take a look like that actually to the back of the device, and here we have capacitors, and the original has capacitors placed exactly in the same place. We have a row of resistors here, and here we have a variable resistor potentiometer here and here, and we have same type of heat sinks and transistors here. So all in all, it actually looks like one-to-one clone with small differences, like the clone has cables arranged quite neatly, but the original is messy, and the original uses lower quality parts and lower quality potentiometers. I think this is the last photo, or was it the first one? Yeah, that's the one you haven't seen yet. So all in all, it looks very, very similar. So it is one-to-one clone after all. Okay, what else I haven't covered? I haven't covered the fact that these small capacitors here are actually Nichicons. So this is also good because we can see good branded parts here. Okay, let's move that camera back. I've measured the DC bias with inputs shorted and maximum volume level set on pots. The speaker DC bias was 11 millivolts for left channel and 23 millivolts for the right channel. I saw there was a video in German about setting bias on these, so I may try to lower this 23 millivolts. It plays right after the start, so the sound comes from the speaker very early, so the slow start is very fast actually. There is no pop or another type of nasty sound when powering on or off the amplifier, and it's dead silent. On the maximum volume level, when listening closely by ear to the speaker, there is no hiss, there is no sound at all, so it's dead silent, and that's very, very, very good. Okay, so I gave it about 200, between 200 and 250 hours of burning. As I said, it was pretty cold during that warming. It wasn't warming up, it was playing nicely. And after this burning period, I've done my critical listening sessions. My listening sessions were made using my HTPC as a source of my music. It was a FLAC and DSD collection. All connections were made with AudioQuest fake cables. The power was AudioQuest as inputs as FCA cables I've used Thunderbirds. Speaker cables were Dragons and fake Nordost Blue Heaven. Why? Because I've read somewhere that FM Acoustics pairs nicely with Nordost cabling. Yes, I know these are fakes, but they are looking and working, I think, exactly like Nordost cables, at least when I compare them with originals I have. So anyway, the Blue Heaven paired really nicely, so I've done my listening with Dragons and then once again Blue Heavens. The sources were Gustart X26 Pro and my AK4499 based Semi-Bera DAC. By the way, watch the review on Semi-Bera because it's very, very cheap and it's very, very good. Okay, so having that out of the way, how does it sound? Okay, let's remove that stand because I'm a little bit afraid that it'll drop. It's quite heavy. Okay, so how does it sound? How does it sound? The first thing that I've noticed during the burn-in was the bass. It has absolutely great bass that goes very deep and very low, and it's the amplifier is able to control your speakers very well. I was actually not aware of the fact that these Martin Logan small speakers were able to go as low as with this amplifier. The bass has some very nice textures, and there's a lot of going on in the bass, so it's a very nice and funny thing to track all of the music lines in the bass lines in your music. So that's something very good, and it gave me a lot of pleasure. The mids. The mids are very organic, and organic for mids would be the leading word for that description. For example, in And So It Goes by Jennifer Warnes, you have this nice vibrating vocal of Jennifer, and these vibrations are very small variations in frequency of her voice. So with bad equipment, with less detailed amplifiers, you're not hearing this vibrating voice. You're not hearing this, sorry, I can't do that. So anyway, this one will convey all of the details that's found in mids. There is no sibilance. The same song is also one of my reference songs for testing sibilance, because it has been recorded in a way that borders on sibilant, but it's not sibilant. So with the right equipment, you'll hear all the S sounds in her voice in a very precise way, but it won't be fatiguing. Okay, another example of very detailed mids would be Crockett's theme from Miami Vice. At time mark 2 minutes and 13 seconds, listen to the electric guitar. On lesser equipment, you'll hear 1 tone of electric guitar. On this amplifier, and also on amplifiers of D5 Pro, which is basically Darcy clone class, you'll be able to hear that the electric guitar is not 1 tone, but it's changing. It's slowly changing, and the changes are very small, but you'll be able to hear them. So all in all, I really love the mids on this amplifier. They are very organic and very detailed. Moving on to treble, and these will be all with exclamation marks in my notes. The treble is very detailed. It's clean and airy. At the same time, it's a very musical and nice treble. It's not analytical and dry and digital sounding. It's a treble that's very, very musical. Moving on to the harder parts in my ladder. The detail. It's very detailed. Both mids, bass, both. All of them. Bass, mids and treble are very detailed. And as I said, nice textures in the bass and a lot of details in mids and treble. Another thing, the scene, the stereo scene and holography. It has absolutely great 3D effects, very precise. You can pinpoint the locations of instruments, but you cannot go below some certain input level, input signal level, because the scene will collapse. If you'll be listening with volume changed by your source, like your digital to analog converter, and if you'll go below some signal level, the scene from holographic imagery will collapse into flat image. And it's a very rapid thing, so I was able to pinpoint exactly the volume level on my digital to analog converter, and changing it slightly up and down made the holography like a 3D image with all sculptures inside, and lowering it just a bit made it collapse into flat photo. So that's a very important thing, because you should not listen to it with low volume input signal. You should find the right place in this with these volume pots. Speaking about the volume pots, one thing that I haven't covered yet. As you can see, they are scaled from 1 to 10, and with my Martin Logan motion speakers, 3.5 was already quite loud. So it is very powerful. It doesn't exactly come from the power rating, but it's able to deliver a lot of current. The scene is collapsing when the signal level, input signal level, goes below some threshold. That's a very important thing, because if you experience something like that, take a note and check your input signal level. Okay, another thing about the sound in general. It's very fast, and at the same time it's very powerful. It has very good dynamic. Example for that. There's a set of recordings made by London Philharmonic Orchestra, when the guys from the orchestra are playing game music. And the Fallout 3 soundtrack, actually it's Fallout 3 theme music, you can hear very good dynamics with orchestra swings. It goes from silent to very loud, and from very loud to silent within a very short time. So it's a very good thing. It actually raises your hair on your neck. It's also very musical. The music sounds very fluid, very effortless. Example for that, another track from the same CD, Halo theme. The Halo theme, this is one of the few amplifiers that this particular recording of the Halo theme by London Philharmonic Orchestra sounds very musical in that nice, fluent way. I'm missing a lot of words here. It's very hard to describe the feeling, to describe the sound with words. But the swings, the small changes in the mids, they are very musical, and this comes from the fact that this amplifier has absolutely stunning mids. Okay, another few general observations and general thoughts. It's ready for some serious listening quite quickly, because it takes just about 10 minutes up to maybe 15 minutes, and after that it's ready for your critical listening. It's warmed up and you can enjoy your music. Another thing, it has absolutely great control over speakers. It stops them in place when needed. And another thing, it really likes to play loud. All the best qualities, like detail, like holography, came up very good when I was listening to my music louder. When I was trying to lower the volume before some threshold, it was losing some of these fine qualities. It doesn't mean that you need to listen to your music with disco club level, but it's not the best idea to listen to this particular amplifier quietly, because it will lose holography, it will lose scene, and it will lose some of the detail. But with your regular listening level, at least my regular listening level, it was perfectly fine, and it was actually making me want to raise the volume. Yeah, I think that's it. What I like about this amplifier is the price. That's the one thing I forgot to mention. It was $520. So it was really cheap compared to the original. You can't actually compare it to the original because this is a completely different price bracket. But compare this to the other amplifiers, comparing this to some popular Class D amplifiers, comparing this to the audio equipment that you can get in most of the, I don't know, consumer market, or some amplifiers that you can get in hi-fi shops. This is absolutely stunning value. It had been recommended more than a couple of times in different YouTube reviews and on different web forums, and for a good reason. One thing before the summary. As I've noticed watching different photos available on the web, there seem to be a couple of versions of this amplifier. They have basically the same layout, but they will differ in some, sorry about that, in some details. The first thing that I've seen that is different, maybe different, is the fuse. This one uses fuse integrated with power inlet. There is another variation that uses a socket for a fuse, and the socket for a fuse is round and protrudes from the back. Another difference is that in this other variant, the Alps potentiometers are not mounted on PCB. They are mounted directly to the front plate, and there is some loose wiring around them. Another difference is that the rectifier bridge looks different. It doesn't look as clean and neat as this one, and there's a lot of strange wires around it, and it's smaller. They have also different caps. These variations have different caps. These ones are marked as L. Now we've already had a discussion on whether these are real or fake in my Davzil clone review. They may be fake, they might be originals. The ELNA capacitor catalog doesn't list this precise capacity with this size in the catalog, but this may actually point to them being original, because ELNA is also producing capacitors for direct requirements for some audio equipment producers, and these would not be listed in the catalogs available to available to general public as orders, but they may still be sold as surpluses. So the capacitors on this other variant are different. They are cheaper, considering these as originals. They are cheaper, and the slow start here also looks different. Other than that, the photos of the second variant wouldn't allow me to judge the small details like transistors, because they were low resolution photos. So, in summary, it's very cheap. It has absolutely stunning value. One of the best buys that I can easily recommend to everyone looking for an amplifier. The sound quality is stunning. I'm waiting, I'm hoping to get FM300A preamplifier to pair it with FM300A clone. So my goal is to try to assess them as a complete set. I can wholeheartedly recommend this amplifier to you guys. One of the things that will surely appear in the comments are questions about comparisons with other amplifiers that I own, other cloned amplifiers that I own. I think I'll do a video on that because that's a serious subject. Because on that level of sound quality, it's not about which one is better. They are different. It's like asking which one is better, Lamborghini or Ferrari. They are both sports cars, and they are different. It's hard to say that this one is better and this one is worse. It's more about the differences, it's more about the nuances, and it's more about your personal taste. So I think I'll do a video, probably when I finish reviewing this one, this small 25 kilo guy in the back, which sits silently for now, but it's still doing burn-in. When I have all of them, I'll try to do a comparison video, because the thing is that they all are great choices. None of them is a bad choice. All of them are absolutely stunning, and they have different amazing qualities to the sound. So I'd say that the main factor may be the price, because yes, they differ in price. The power output, because it's very hard to compare Musical Fidelity A1 clone with its 20 watts per channel output with D5 Pro, which is Davzil clone, with its 150 watts per channel output. So I was I kind of lost my track here. Just a second. Okay, so there will be no comparison in this particular video. I'll do something else about that. Feel free to ask me anything I could forgot in the comments, because as usual I've probably forgot tons of things. So ask me. I'm answering all of the questions wherever I can. What else? Highly musical, absolutely stunning mids, great control over bass, and airy and holographical treble. Absolutely good choice. Another parting thought. Why I am reviewing the clones? There are two reasons. The first one is very down to earth. I cannot afford the originals, although I'm quite wealthy. I can buy, for example, I don't know, original Cambridge audio stuff from the top of the shelf line. But I'm not wealthy enough to own originals like that one. And that's a more serious problem for me, because these are devices for listening to music, for accessing art. And these are important not as devices, because it's the original price for that would be like a luxury device. But this is not a device that would be a symbol of your status. It's not something that you'll take on a walk and you'll be showing to people that, look, I'm a rich guy, I own FM Acoustics amplifier. This is something that you'll be using in the back of your house, in your silenced room, to listen to music. So basically, I wouldn't say these are any kind of sign of status. These are devices used to access the music, and music is art, and with exorbitant prices, which are not explained in any way by the components inside. Because let's face it, it's not like Dartzil or Musical Fidelity or FM Acoustics is using some kind of magical, very expensive components inside. It's a set of resistors, transistors, basically semiconductors, capacitors, fuses, wires, etc., etc. The idea is that the design, yes, the design is something unique. The design is something worth paying for. But there's a limit, and for me, I would rather go for many customers, many happy customers that will have access to an art than just a couple of guys and just a few pieces of equipment sold during a year with some exorbitant prices. But that was my rant about high-end audio in general. All in all, getting back to this one, what I love the build, I love the sound quality, I love the quality of the components, I love the bass, I love the mids, the treble, the detail, the scene. What I don't really like, this small fit. I don't really like the idea that I have to change the volume using two pots. It's very hard to set balance right using ear only. It's easier to do that with meter, checking the resistance on both pots and setting it to exactly the same level, but that's not exactly the best way to change the volume. To move the potentiometer and then to check the value with your meter. So I would rather have one potentiometer here, but the original also had two, so I understand that. That's clone. Original had two, the clone will have two. I'll think about bypassing them. It shouldn't be very hard to do, but I always like to make my changes in a way that will make them reversible, easily reversible. So I have to think about that. For now, it's okay for me just to set one volume level, let's say around 3.5, and then to further change the volume with my source, with my digital to analog converter. And that's it. All in all, I love the device. For $520, it's a steal. You can get it even cheaper if you find some coupons, AliExpress coupons, if you wait for a sale. I think the summer sale has just ended, but as usual, AliExpress will have autumn sale, and will be a Singles Day, which is 11 of October. No, 11 of November. That's quite ahead of us, but the prices there will be lower. As always, I'll link to the store in the description of the video. The store is, this particular store is safe and checked by me because I bought that equipment from them. You can also get them on eBay, if eBay is your preferred method of purchase of goods. Yeah, that's all. If you have any questions, if I forgot to mention something, if you notice that I'm wrong somewhere or that I omitted something, just please ask me or point that problems in the comments. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed this very long review, but remember, I've asked if you prefer two shorter ones or one longer, and the overwhelming majority of you guys told me that you prefer one long. So that was one long. So thank you for watching this video. Some of you guys asked me about Patron and about some restricted access. I won't be placing any of my videos behind paywalls, but if you feel like you want to buy a beer for me, I'm open to any donations via supers purchases on YouTube. Why not? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll have a great day, and stay tuned because the monster there is finishing the burn-in. And also another spoiler alert, you know, I had some coupons for the last sale that I had no idea what to do with them, and they were quite nice because one of them was for like $50. So I've ordered two amplifiers more. The first one is a clone of Burmester 933. It's a clone of German construction, a very highly regarded construction. And the other one is Gryphon Taboo. It's a clone of Danish power amplifier. Also very highly regarded, at least in Europe. I know that Gryphon had no luck with distributors in the States. I've read some horrible stories about that. But all in all, I'm very curious about these two, and I'm very curious about that monster. It is a monster. 25 kilograms of power amplifier, IQ Phase E405 clone. But more about that in some future videos. So I hope for the third time, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day and see you soon with another videos.